I see one trend. Since we have all these streaming services, there is more and more demand to let events become live stream events. And that needs a certain additional set of technology, because you're no longer just storing the content, but you're also streaming it. But then it's a lot more sophisticated. You have the video content, the synchronizing of events, the public viewing of alternative locations, stadiums.
Could you share a story of a particularly complicated special acoustics project you worked on?
I have one, but due to NDA, I cannot talk about it very openly, but I can tell you it's an amplifier which is predominantly used in a near seaside location and which is built in somewhere where it's very hard to access. And one of the key challenges is to make sure that it does not fail under any circumstance for a period of 7 to 10 years. And the second one is that you can remotely reset it under any circumstance. I mean, how often do we see our cell phone or our computer crash and you need to reset it? Mm-hmm. In that particular application, you would have to raise a 200 kilogram metal to access the amplifier. So pushing a reset button is not really an option.
Because it's placed very high up.
Not very high, but buried under something you cannot.
Oh, buried under something.
Under something that you cannot release easily.
Yeah.
So you have to design a product for that remote reset.
Wow.
Under that circumstance. So that's a very special niche product, but in a relative, it's confined in an IP65 level box, because you don't want to have the salty air touching the electronics. Mm-hmm. But that confinement also enables you to push any button to reset it.
So can you share a little bit about the process that it took for you to realize this?
Or it took several years.
Years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because the point is that in these kind of situations, you really have to go into any particular fault condition and have to come up with a strategy to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not easy.
Yeah. And then do you take this iterative approach of kind of trying something, seeing if it works, starting again, improving little by little, or is your team more like using established methodologies?
You try to use as much established technology as possible, because you already know somebody else did the work on it. Mm-hmm. But you puzzle them together to meet your application. And these interfaces have the chance to give you more new challenges. So yes, not so simple. Mm-hmm. And if it's economically viable, it's also another story. But on the other side, there are challenges in the market that are undeserved.
So this idea of future-proofing the special acoustics technology, does it come up in your conversations? Because I think clients probably want to solve this problem, like you said, 7 to 10 years and not think about it. How are you future-proofing your solutions?
You can never 100% future-proof them. I mean, let's be realistic. However, you can try to avoid too many specialized components.
Is that where the risk comes in? Or
yeah, because it's simply not availability, and then the engineering cost to redesign it is higher than circumvented by more simpler technology. Simpler means using operational amplifiers, transistors, instead of highly integrated ICs, which may be discontinued. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one way to approach it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but again, it needs good analog engineers, which are very, very rare.
Are you seeing the industry of special acoustics moving toward any particular one direction? Are you getting more inquiries around certain projects more than others? I'm just curious to know where it's going.
I would say I see one trend in a way that, since we have all these streaming services, Spotify and those people, that there is more and more demand to let events become live stream events, and that needs a certain additional set of technology, because you're no longer just storing the content, but you're also streaming it, and so you need to synchronize that. That's not easy. And then again, our musicians, or the people that actually make money from their music, due to the streaming service, they have less chance to make the money from the CDs they used to sell, but they more and more rely on events. Mm-hmm. So I do see an advancement in the event technology, because but then it's a lot more sophisticated. You have the video content, the synchronizing of events, the public viewing of alternative locations, stadiums. Yeah, we have Taylor Swift in a stadium. I mean, you know how much you have to pay for tickets, right? I mean, that's a major contribution to their success. So I think what you can see is there's going away from the studios more to the events.
Right, and this is the way the artists are making a living right now.
Yes,
events.
Absolutely.
I just know because I'm a millennial, and I remember being a kid and listening to my mom's vinyl player. Mm-hmm. So I was playing the records, and it had a certain richness of sound, this kind of analog sound that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Once the streaming era came now, I feel like the audio is still fine, but it's missing something. What is that is missing?
Well, I think it's a subjective level. It's like, I think some of the streaming is now too perfect in a way, that because the vinyl player had a distinctive enhancement of some frequencies and reduction of others. So you feel it's more authentic because you were used to it when you were a kid. Yeah. So maybe it's stored in your brain as a kid, whereas like a kid that's born like in the 2020s and grows up, they feel the Spotify is the correct standard, and anything else sounds weird to them. So I do believe it's a conditioning of your experience that
you're calling me old, basically.
Hey, I'm older than you, man. So,
but I mean, those things are not convenient at all. Now I have all my songs on Spotify, so
exactly. I mean, absolutely. We have all the music. You can listen to anything, anywhere, immediately, for $5, $6, $7 a month. I mean, you used to get 12, 15 songs for $25 on a CD. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's quite different nowadays, and but the artists need to make those events to make a living, and people don't want to wait, and they want to have this access, and but okay, market is shifting. Requirements for some areas going up, for others is going down, but overall the market is relatively stable.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as humans love music and get together in these big public places, there'll always be a market for special acoustics.
I think human beings enjoy listening to music together and dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were singing around the fire in the cave, and now they're dancing in hundreds of thousands of people together in front of an artist in a stadium.
Yeah.
Or they're on festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter told me yesterday she went to a festival and she was fighting the mud, had to go 3 kilometers from her tent to the stages, 500 meters to go to a restroom. I mean, these young kids, they enjoy
yeah, it's
jumping in the mud.
Part of the whole experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's still there, and it's very likely to still be there 20, 30, 40 years down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
great.
I think there's always demand for the audio technique around it, and the companies that are specializing on making that happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Can you share how we can get in touch with you if we're looking for special acoustic solutions?
Okay, so you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Florian Heike, Heike. You will find me relatively easily, but also on our website, www.selenius.com. Thank you.